Efuru violence escalates in Delta State. 6 people reportedly killed in fresh clashes. Transmission Company of Nigeria announces new power peak of 5,375 megawatts. In international news, humanitarian aid for Venezuela still stuck in Colombia border town as Maduro stands firm. And in sports, more tributes pouring for NFF Football Secretary General Taiwo Ogunjobi.
This is ANN News.
I am Olajumoke Olatuji. There have been reported cases of fresh violence in one local government area of Delta State. Sadly, 6 persons have been killed in a renewed clash in Efuru, which has been on for 2 weeks now. Sources say the incident took place in the early hours of Monday morning around Dumorogbo, Omarua and Jakpa Junction areas of Efuru. The violence was sparked by disagreements between some supporters of the People's Democratic Party and All Progressives Congress. 6 people were reported killed at different spots in the area, bringing the total number of those killed in the renewed crisis to 10. 3 of the victims were shot dead in their homes, while the remaining 3 were stabbed to death by unidentified youths in the area. U.S. former President Bill Clinton has cancelled his trip to Nigeria ahead of Saturday's general elections. He says the visits could become politicized. The 42nd President of the United States, Bill Clinton, and Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Baroness Patricia Scotland, were to have broad goodwill messages and witness the signing of a National Peace Accord in Abuja on Wednesday by the 2 front-runners in the presidential contest, President Muhammadu Buhari and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. The planned trips were facilitated by the Kofi Annan Foundation and the National Peace Committee. Clinton said in a statement he will speak with President Muhammadu Buhari later this week. The Federal High Court in Abuja stopped the President, Attorney General of the Federation, and Nigerian Financial Intelligence from freezing suspended Chief Justice Walter Norhen's bank account. Justice Ijoma Ojukwu granted the order while ruling in an ex parte motion instituted by the Legal Defense and Assistance Project. The AGF wrote a letter to the NFRU in January asking the units to restrict normal banking operations on certain accounts belonging to Norhen. The Attorney General of the Federation said the order was in line with an executive order on the preservation of assets connected with corruption. Justice Ojukwu ruled that the AGF must obtain a court order before freezing the account. The matter is adjourned till Wednesday. The Nigerian Intelligence Financial Units discovered in January identities of firms that paid $3 million into Norhen's bank account. In a related matter, the National Judicial Council had set up a complaint assessment committee to review Norhen's response and that of Supreme Court Justice Ibrahim Mohammed, who is acting in his stead. Norhen is accused of failing to fully declare his assets, while Mohammed is facing allegations of misconduct in allowing himself to be sworn in as Norhen's replacement. Critics say President Buhari's suspension of the Chief Justice violated the Constitution. A Dutch court will hear the first arguments today in a historic case against Shell, in which the oil giant is accused of instigating a raft of horrifying human rights violations committed by the Nigerian government against the Ogoni people in the 1990s. Esther Kobe, Victoria Barra, Blessing Eaho, and Charity Levula are suing Shell over its alleged role in the unlawful arrest, detention, and execution of their husbands by the Nigerian military. The killings followed a brutal crackdown on Ogoni protest against Shell's devastating pollution of the region. Esther Kobe says Shell has continually fought over the years to ensure this case did not make it to court. Amnesty International, which supports the plaintiffs and legal team, has independently documented Shell's role in killings, rape and torture carried out by the Nigerian government in its efforts to crush protests. The husbands were hanged in 1995 after what was described as a sham trial. Their widows are now demanding compensation and a public apology from Shell. 5 other men, including protest leader Ken Sarawiwa, were also executed collectively. They are now known as the Ogoni 9. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has accused the businesswoman and socialite Shagaya Shagaya of frustrating its efforts to conclude investigations into suspicious Unity Bank accounts with a balance of 1 billion naira. The anti-graft agency says it invited her, but she refused to honor the invitation. The agency says they complicate their efforts to ensure a concluded investigations and file charges. EFCC placed a no-debit order on Shagaya's account following an interim order by Justice Muslim Hassan of the Federal High Court in Lagos in December 2016. Shagaya filed an application asking the court to unfreeze her account because she was not given a fair hearing. In another case, EFCC has arrested and detained the immediate past secretary to the government of the Federation, Babachir Lawal, on Monday on charges of conspiracy and fraud. Lawal will be docked today before an FCC High Court in Maitama, presided over by Justice Jude Okeke. The EFCC had also filed conspiracy and fraud charges against Hamidu David Lawal, Suleiman Abubakar, and two companies, Roller Vision Engineering and Adjustment Technologies. Babachir Lawal was also accused of fraudulently acquiring a private interest in a contract awarded to Adjustment Technologies. The Transmission Company of Nigeria says the national grid successfully transmitted a new generation peak of more than 5,000 megawatts. General Manager Public Affairs Ndidi Umba says this was the first time the nation's power grid has generated and transmitted this quantum of power. This is glaring evidence of the success of this administration's policy in incremental power. Umba said the last peak generation of 5,224 megawatts, which was also successfully transmitted by TCN, was attained in December 2017. The four major network operators in the country have been slammed with a total of 74 million naira by the Nigerian Communications Commission for violating various regulations such as quality of service, approval for promotions and advertisement, and SIM registration in a controlled environment. They were only fined for SIM registration infractions and unapproved promos and advertisements, as well as their failure to provide information on collapsed towers. The report revealed that MTN was asked to pay 5 million naira, Airtel 20 million naira, Glo 30 million naira, and 9Mobile 5 million naira. The telecoms regulator had warned all operators to desist from registering SIM cards on the umbrellas or other uncontrolled environments effective from February 2017, saying non-compliance would attract a fine of 5 million naira per incident. Coming up, African stories, 6 killed following mine explosion in South Africa. And later, international news, hungry Venezuelans still have no access to humanitarian aid. Maduro blockade in Colombia.
You are watching ANN.
If you know fit go internet or follow for Twitter, you know fit snap photo send or get it photo send. Now because you dey use Palasa, your phone no dey answer. See me see wahala. My brother, go get smartphone, yeah. Drop that Palasa phone. Phone wey no go for your hand, yeah. Drop that Palasa phone. Phone wey no fit take selfie. Drop that Palasa phone. No be correct phone, yeah. Drop that Palasa phone.
Upgrade to a smartphone today and get double data for 6 months on any MTN data bundle you buy. Simply purchase a smartphone from any store, anywhere in Nigeria, or bring your current smartphone from any network. Insert your MTN SIM card to start enjoying your double data bonus. Offer is open to all new and existing MTN subscribers. Join the largest smartphone movement today.
Make it known for your hand, that's Palasa phone.
We are on the road every day, canvassing throughout Africa for news you really need. We follow this story everywhere, from every corner of Nigeria to the wide African expanse. We bring you what's making headlines. We connect you with news you can use. ANN, African News Network, in a truly African spirit.